Good morning, November 12th, 2023. Scary things. A friend of mine told me I wasn't posting enough, so I'm going to make something today. Of course, make something. This is actually from B Dylan Hollis. It's a pumpkin bread that uses no flour, no sugar, graham crackers, a whole box, and 1 can of pumpkin with 2 eggs. I did spice it up, Dylan. I spiced it up. The original recipe calls just for the 14-ounce can of pumpkin, so the smaller can, 2 eggs, a whole box of crushed graham crackers, and 3 teaspoons of baking powder. 350, 50 minutes. Perfect. In a little loaf pan. I threw in a little cinnamon, cardamom, allspice, ginger, nutmeg, and of course we're baking vanilla. Gotta put in vanilla when you're baking. So I had prepped everything for the crumbs last night. I'm just stirring together the pumpkin and the spices and the eggs. I'm moving my lid for my coffee out of the way. Yeah, if I ever die, when I die, I know I got an expiration date. I don't know when it is. Please shout out with a cup of coffee. Now we're going to just take our crumbs, and they're crushed up pretty good. I've got my broken whisk, which is perfect for stuff like this. Got my baking powder and my crumbs. Yeah, his comment was, because he's British, why is it you Americans do everything and turn everything into bread that isn't bread? Well, I made this once and could not believe how delicious it was. He actually used frosting for the top of it, a cream cheese frosting. Personally, it just needs butter. Why? Because butter's good. And it's a bread. So I'm going to just set that over here. Give this a stir. This is going to be... The only thing that's wrong on this is the baking time. But it seems like it's not going to come together because the crumbs kind of tried to soak everything together. But all of a sudden, now instead of having crumbs and pumpkin, you're starting to get a batter. And the more you stir it, the more batter-like it gets. So just kind of incorporate everything. You know what you're doing. Simple recipe. Great fun. If you have kids, take a Ziploc bag, each one of them, give them a bunch of graham crackers in the bag, tell them to crush them all up. Then you can finish it off with rolling it out with a, well, that was surprising. That's what you get when you put something too heavy in the top of the bowl. The bowl falls over. You can use a food processor, but why get it dirty? You can save the plastic bags for other times when you're making stuff or whatever. I usually keep one around for stuff like that. And now we take our immaculately clean hands, because you always wash hands before you ever start baking, and if you touch any portion of anything that shouldn't be touched, face, countertop, what have you, you wash your hands. Rule in the kitchen. Now, we've got stuff that looks like that. I'm going to put it into a line. If you're not using parchment paper, you're missing out. Now this is rather stiff, so I put it in a couple spots because it does not pour. And there we go. Now I'm going to do 52 minutes because the last time I baked it, I thought it needed just a little bit more. But every oven is different. But 350, about 50 minutes. It will be cooked. I just thought it needed just a pinch more. Now these are just regular honey-made grams. Nothing fancy with it. These aren't even the cinnamon sugar ones. I was gifted a bunch of graham crackers. Found this recipe on Dylan's YouTube. Shout out to you, B Dylan Hollis. Awesome, awesome, a lot of fun. Does make a lot of interesting things. Some are good and some are not so good. He has a cookbook, hint hint. Although the hubby's told me I'm not allowed to bring another cookbook in the house. I don't know why. Probably because I have a small library of them. But now we've got it into the corners, up the sides. And we're just going to take and put that in the sink. Now that it's fallen over once. And into the oven it's going to go. And I'll see you in a few minutes. Now those that you know, yes, for those of you who know me, I do this all freeform. I don't script anything out, just whatever happens to come to mind. I think that's more fun, but that's me. I like the spontaneity, I like that kind of stuff. So I've been thinking, what else could I do with this recipe to change it, twerk it, have a little fun? Why not try applesauce instead of pumpkin? And then I'm thinking, well, applesauce has got a lot more moisture in it. But when I make my applesauce, which if you've never made homemade applesauce, don't be shy. It's a lot of fun, real easy. Grab your apples. Hopefully you've got a variety. Do not use red delicious. Do not use yellow delicious. No, 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 no. Get yourself some good Empires, some good Macauns, some good... We used Fiji this last time because we had them. I've used Jonah Golds. You can use quartz. Portlands have got a nice mellow flavor, and they bake or they cook down really into nothingness. But the longer you cook it, the longer it'll do its thing. Get someplace between an applesauce and an apple butter. I'm not crazy about apple butter. Tastes too baked and burnt to me for the most part. But that's me. A lot of people love the stuff. Eat it up with a spoon. But I'm going to try it next time. I'm going to make some of my own applesauce and seal off 1 3/4 because that's 14 ounces of, a can of pumpkin is 14 and change. I measured it out in a measuring cup. It comes out to about 1 3/4. And going to use a similar technique. I might, depending on the moisture, throw in an extra 1/2 cup of flour into the crumbs just to see how it turns out. And keep the spicing similar. Maybe go a little less on the allspice because I always put some ginger and cinnamon and stuff in my applesauce. The key to good applesauce: throw in a chunk of butter at the end, stir it up. You don't usually need to use a lot of sugar. If you want it a little sweeter, if your apples, because you always taste back to your product. If your apples are really super tart, you might want a little bit of brown sugar or even a little bit of molasses and white sugar. Same thing, brown sugar, white sugar, and molasses. Same. Never be afraid to substitute. Don't look at my messy house. It's always messy. Clean enough to be healthy, dirty enough to be lived in. Happy house. We do what we want. You do what you want. Bake how you like. You don't like pumpkin? What do you like? Don't like pumpkin spice, don't like apples? Try banana bread. I think that that would work out really well with banana. About 1 3/4 cups. But I digress. And we're going to get into a little bit more in a little bit. The request was made for some applesauce for breakfast. This is what mine looks like. I just start putting the apples in the pan on super, super low. Just keep adding as I'm peeling and coring and slicing the apples right into the pan. Just stir, stir, stir. And when I have your ancestors will tell you when you've put enough apples in. The nice thing about doing it that way is that, number one, you're cooking as they're going. You end up with a little chunkier mix-up of your apples. And if you use a variety of apples, you get so many different flavors and little different textures. And because Fuji's happen to be very, I almost want to call them a perfumey apple. Very, very full of aroma. Good flavor. But it really packs a punch to your nose with the scent of the apple, and it's just it's a really beautiful apple. They're kind of a pale ruby color on the outside with a little yellow green, but yeah, they're good apples. I love Emps because they hold up really well, and they bake up. You can bake them, you can eat them. We can go through a half bushel of apples here just eating them in about 2 weeks. Yeah, that's kind of a lot of apples, but you know what? They're healthy. And even though the hubby's got a problem with sugar, they don't seem to spike it. They're really good like that for him. You can't touch popcorn. Popcorn, your sugar goes crazy. As much as we love popcorn, comes down right away too, so he's got to be careful about that. So bake what your family likes, try out different things. Don't be afraid to throw in a spice that you like or that your family loves. That's why we put in a little bit of cardamom and a little pinch of allspice into stuff. If you don't have much more than salt and pepper in your spice cupboard, grab yourself some even pre-made Italian seasonings, some basil, some oregano, some seasoned pepper, some seasoned salt, spicy stuff. If you're crazy about different types of spicing, Tony's makes a real nice little bit spicier seasoned salt, and that's really nice on stuff that, especially if you're going to grill. Flavors go into it. You can adjust it, so if you use just a little bit, it's a little spice. If you use too much, it's not so nice. I love hot, but I don't like stupid hot. I like flavor. Give me flavor. Love Thai food. Why? Because it's got flavor, and you can adjust your heat. So there's a Thai place on Niagara Falls Boulevard towards the falls. It's the Boba Tea and Cafe. Bubble Tea and Cafe, excuse me. And they do have really great bubble tea. If you've never tried it, it's definitely a different experience. I enjoy it. A lot of fun, and their food is outstanding. All different. You can take everything. They've got everything from seafoods to tofu. And you can adjust whatever spice heat that you would like. I got a 3 last time I got some, and I should have gone for 4. Yeah, you need a little more spice, but that's me. The next day to warm up the leftovers, because they give you so much on your plate, you got enough for a supper, almost a supper for the next day for yourself. The spice had a chance to really get into it. Oh, so good. So good. Play with spices. Watch different things on cooking. I like the B Dylan Hollis. I like Tasting History. Louis J. Cast Iron Cooking. Cast Iron Chaos. Food Wishes. Just so many wonderful ones. There's a few southern ones that I've watched. I do apologize, I don't remember all of your names, but they do a lot of great cooking, real home cooking, stuff that you want to put in front of your family, that you want to, if you wouldn't eat it yourself, don't serve it to your family. Please don't, unless they like it and you don't, and you want to give them something special. Yeah. Yep. But we got about another 26 minutes on my timer, so we'll be checking that out in a few minutes. But yeah, shout out to all these wonderful channels that have really helped inspire. Get out there, check it out, make what your family likes. That's the biggest thing. We got about 5 more minutes on the clock for the timer. Oh, 4.5 minutes. Here's a question. Now, we've got kitty cats. We got 4 of them, ranging in age from about 14, 15 to less than a year. About 6 months she is, I think. And we've got a water bowl. And, you know, it's the water bowl on one side, food on the other, but we fill both sides with water. For whatever reason, the cats will drink out of the left side of the bowl and leave the right one alone. The left one can be totally empty, and they will not drink out of it. You turn it around, now they'll drink out of it. Just a curiosity and wondering if, are cats left-handed? Left-pawed? Maybe, maybe not. All I know is that they prefer the left over the right. Maybe they're all liberals. Who could say? That was funny. You gotta admit, that was funny. Wrong, but funny. And I'll take funny over anything, because it's funny and people need to laugh more. I was just sitting here thinking about the blue sky that I'm looking at. A few little clouds. It's about 40 degrees out. Like I said, it's the 12th of November, 2023, and it's about 10:15 in the morning now. But yeah, it's just one of those beautiful kind of days. There's still a few leaves on the tree that are kind of a gold hue to them all. I can see City Hall from here, unfortunately. Scary place. Scary place. Why? Because they say they're for you. It seems like they're working against you. So, if you want to make changes in your life, in your world, in your community, start with down the street. Once you get down the street in line, then work for your area. Once that's in line, go for your state. Once that's in line, your country will follow. I know election day is over, but please, if you haven't done so in the future, in the past, for the future, get out there. You don't have to be affiliated with any party. That's irrelevant. Get out there, get your voice. At least you can say that, yeah, I voted. Now I have the right to bitch. I understand if you choose not to. I understand that stand as well. Sometimes you feel like you're powerless. And sometimes even my vote feels powerless. But at least I did it. And at least I put it out there that, hey, I don't like what this is happening. I'm going to go and try and put it in a different direction. But that's my feelings. Only takes a few minutes. You can even get the absentee ballots if you're not sure. A lot of times I've moved to areas where it's like, I don't know where to go to vote. Plenty of resources online. Don't have an easy online hookup? Local public library. Wonderful place. They got books. They got computers. And it's free. Take advantage of it. Just when you're done online, delete your history, delete the cookies. Your anonymity stays more under your control. But take advantage of it. It's a great resource. They also have copy machines, so if you find something online that's really spark your interest, print it out, search it up, have a good time with it. I'm all in favor for public libraries. I don't think they're utilized as much as they could be. And if you ever want to have some fun, go into your public library, just take a section, grab a book, any book, and read it. And I've started doing that at mine. I like mysteries and that, so the bottom of the thing has a little thing that it's a mystery. And I've grabbed books, and come to find out, I've grabbed one from Scotland, one from Iceland. Both of them have been good reads, a lot of fun, stories within stories, and just a real good time. Highly recommend. Check out a book. But my timer just went, so I'm going to grab it real quick. Now, I should have grabbed the second one. Where's my other pot holder? Here we go. This is what she looks like when she comes out. It smells divine. It's too bad it's too warm right yet. If I tried to cut into this, it would crumble into a gazillion pieces, and it would still be good, but it wouldn't hold the butter so well. I don't know why. We've got a big crack in one spot. Let me see if I can turn this around. But yeah, there it is. It just kind of pulled up. It's nice. It smells so good. But we're going to enjoy this later on with a fresh cup of coffee, a little bit of butter on a slice, and just sit in fat heaven for a bit. Is this the healthiest way to have something? I don't know. But pumpkin is very good for you, and the spices are good for your soul. So keep on trying different things. Get out there. Don't be afraid. So long as you measure flat and even. This is a pretty easy recipe. It's kind of foolproof. The only thing I wouldn't do is don't put in too much spice. You can make things bitter. Bitter's not good. But yeah, get out there, have fun, bake. And there you go, Aunt Dee Dee. There's your extra one for the day. Love you all bunches. Enjoy yourselves. Enjoy your families.